Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. We had a bit of a technical issue. Not really sure what happened, but we are here with this match. Omen vs. Insomniac Bookie. Ignore those scores. Those are wrong.
Wait, is it live?
Yes, we are live.
Oh, okay, because mine is saying we're offline.
We currently have a 2-minute delay because...
Oh, my apologies. Okay.
Because of some of the rules that the teams want at the moment. So we're just here right now. It should be up for us in about 75 seconds. So this
perfect.
This is 2 minutes. You're seeing this after we say it. So today we should have an interesting match between Omen and Insomniac Boogie here. So I am joined today by Ham Tornado.
Hello.
And Sharper.
Good afternoon, evening, or morning.
Nice. Tell I'm a bit off my game right now because I made a dumb mistake.
No worries, Ben.
Now
no
I'm
worries.
super nervous. But whatever. So, Ham, let's take a look at Omen right here.
Yeah, that's right. Omen will be headed by its captain, Splitonic. He is one of their frontline players, going to be picking up the main tank. He prefers to play Orisa. The rest of his roster is made up of Cosmic, Pew Pew Pew, Grass Play, Fives, and Stars. Now, they've been building this roster since late December, so a little bit, around a month of playtime together, but the roster is still in flux. They prefer to run dive composition, but they've been experimenting around with triple tank, which does make sense. Orisa, definitely very strong. Roadhog as well. Grassplay, is going to be the team's Roadhog player. So they have been experimenting with running kind of a heavier, more tanky team composition as well. This is actually one of the most interesting things about the team, though. Their least favorite map type is actually Control, Lijiang Tower, to be specific. They prefer, instead, full escort maps, either Junkertown or Gibraltar. And now, on the other side, they'll be going up against Insomniac Boogie. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this team, Sharper?
Yeah, and it's funny because Insomniac Boogie exactly hates those payload maps that you just touched on. But let's touch on something else, their roster, which is led by their team captain, Direct Plank, who is an Anna player. Sadly, you don't see too much Anna lately. However, his teammates are going to be Lakota and Hashtag rocking those tank roles. And Kuch Taeyong and Donkey Kong, they are going to be Genji and his somewhat Zen Master, Zenyatta player. And obviously, to round up a roster, you need a Tracer player, which is going to be Yotsuchi. And their team has been playing for around 2 to 4 weeks, so also not for too long. They're also in the build-up phase. And their favorite team composition to run is the Orisa Roadhog. And we've seen a lot of Orisa Roadhog, especially also in Overwatch League, and it's deadly comp. And their favorite map to run those on is King's Row and other hybrid maps like King's Row. And I could theoretically really see this going good because on those first points of the hybrid maps, you can pretty much always run Orisa Roadhog, and it's gonna be insane. So I'm really looking forward to see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some close and juicy games coming up in tonight's Best of 5 series. Both of these teams very evenly matched in terms of the average SR as well, sitting in around 3.2k for both of these teams. So I do believe we are ready to head into our first map here, which will be Nepal.
Yeah, luckily it's not Lijiang Tower for Owen because they despise Lijiang Tower. They get a chance here on Nepal. But I'm looking forward to see what they have here in store because in Nepal we also see picks like Junkrat or even sometimes a Bastion in the Sanctum inside. So I want to know how creative those teams are because there are not many teams who don't shy away from trying out something new. Most of the teams are, going to run the narrow path of the meta, but here and then you see some teams doing some crazy stuff, and I'm looking forward to crazy stuff, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's time to shake things up as we get rolling into Open Division season. Tonight, we will be bringing you a best of 5 match, will be as per the Open Division rule set. starting off on control and working their way through escort, assault, hybrid, and then back to control for the final map of the night. It is loser's pick, and we are starting off with Omen's map. I do believe it's Nepal is their pick. So as Sharper mentioned, definitely control lends itself to kind of these unique compositions that sometimes we see teams bring out. I think one of the weirdest ones has been like attack Symmetra or just Symmetra in general. Definitely not something that we see very often. And any predictions just going in, maybe compositions that we might see? I do know that Omen likes to run Orisa, so that might be something that they'll bring out, especially on Sanctum.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sanctum because most of the times there you see the most crazy team compositions, and I probably expect the Orisa there as well, paired up with a Junkrat. However, I have a feeling that we're gonna see some Monkey play today.
Monkey!
The stars align perfectly for a certain player to play Monkey.
Indeed. It's gonna be Meme! The monkey extraordinaire, Monkey Memes, memeing it up all day, all night. This guy, if you don't know, it is always incredibly deadly on this Winston pick, and Insomniac Boogie gonna have their work cut out for him, keeping his Tesla cannon at bay. Early on, though, yeah?
Excuse me, I'm wondering, like, what supports are we going to see? Because we saw, as we talk about the teams, the Dr. Eggplant actually prefers to play Ana. So is he gonna bust out Ana, or are they sticking to what is meta at the moment? Speaking of Zenyatta and Mercy.
Yeah, that's going to be the question. At least early on here in Spawn, Insomniac Boogie, which is on the red side, Omen will be on the blue side here. Dr. Eggplant showing the Lucio, but it could just be to speed boost these big, slow tanks out of the gate. Coach Taeyeon going to be on that Orisa hashtag, picking up the Roadhog on the red side. So a very heavy composition compared to the dive that Omen is showing here as both teams open out.
Oh, and look, they're actually doing the speed out and opting for the Zenyatta. I really like that. I would have liked it more if the Mercy spat the team up, but gotta start off somewhere.
Oh boy, and starting off somewhere, Yotsuichi going to be lighting up the kill feed first. Meme going to be picking up his first blood of tonight. But in the meantime, Dr. Eggplant managed to find Pew Pew, the Genji, in the backline here. Argonder invests the resurrection onto Yotsuichi, and now with the death of Meme, Insomniac Boogie might just be able to get the ball rolling here, as it's currently just a question of that poke damage. Lakota eats a sleep dart, but with Wild Bill getting demexed, there's going to be no damage mitigation for this backline. There's going to be a question of Insomniac Boogie trundling onto point and taking it from the hands of Omen.
And the most important thing there was that, yes, Yotsuichi, he was the first one to fall, but he fell in his own team's line, so he could be resurrected, whilst Pew Pew Pew, he was also falling right next to him, and you can't resurrect the Genji who's in enemy lines, so pretty much it still ended up being a 6v5 for the sides of Insomniac because of the placement of the death.
Oh boy, and Takiyahan gonna be taking the most delicious prize that he could. Four Eyes gonna be falling on the side of Omen, and that tire picking up the kill onto Wild Bill, but that's just the cherry on top of a one fight. There's no way that Omen can engage without that Mercy in their back. So that's just more free point percentage bought for Insomniac Boogie, and they're already ticking up to both support ultimates as well as the Whole Hog and the Tac Visor from Yotsuichi.
Yeah, and now this is gonna be huge for Insomniac because of Four Eyes switching now to the Mercy. He's pretty much behind the whole Valkyrie, and there's no way that Insomniac is gonna lose any fight with the Valkyrie up. And Four Eyes already dropped down again.
Oh, goodness gracious. A Transcendence out from Fives, but it's not going to be enough to save his Mercy's life. Dragon Blade out from Pew Pew Pew, looking to see what he can get for it, and it's going to be 2 kills. Perhaps this might just be what his team needed. Oh, despite the fact that Insomniac still had a couple of members up and alive, they forgot the objective, and so they will be giving up the free point flip to Omen here. But Red Team can sit happy knowing that they've nearly got 70% on the line already before Omen was able to take the point control.
Yeah, must be the cost of choice. Just as I say and talk about that you cannot lose a fight with Mercy Valkyrie up. They simply lost the fight with the Valkyrie up, and now they are going to have to pretty much fight against what the enemy team had to fight, but the D.Va Bomb coming in deep here, forcing them to push out, and you just ran into enemy's arms. There was no way out for them.
Oh,
Riptire.
goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. There a beautifully 900 IQ pulse self-destruct from Wild Bill managed to find Dr. Eggplant in the back, but there was no follow-up on any of those kills. Insomniac Boogie is the one who's going to be filling up the kill feed with the lives of Omen players here. Great tire from Lakota meant that there was all the room in the world for Insomniac to slowly get onto the point with that Orisa shield. But now it's going to be a question of rebuffing the last couple of members. Cosmic manages to take out Dr. Eggplant in the last seconds of that fight, but that's just going to be a consolation kill for that Tracer.
Yeah, and the Omen players are spread out really big time now. Pew 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 coming in with that Dragon Brace, secures the first kill, stashes to the next location, takes out the Mercy, make it 3 kills for him, and that surely is gonna make them take point back.
Absolutely. It's one Roadhog against the world here, and Cosmic makes short work of that porky man. He's not going to last long against that Tracer Pulse Pistol. And now Omen looking like they're sitting pretty comfortable with 3 ultimates to their name. Crucially, it's going to be Fives' Transcendence, that his team will be relying on in the face of Yotsuichi's Tac Visor, which is about to come up. But they'll also have to contend with not only Lakota's Tire, but the whole hog from Hashtag as well. As long as Insomniac Boogie doesn't lose a member early on, they're looking pretty set for this next fight.
And Insomniac Boogie already using that Valkyrie to start things off. Riptide coming in as well, and he's driving in circles, waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment this there takes down the Genji. Yotsuichi follows it up with a kill onto Meme, the monkey we placed before, and now the second Valkyrie is coming out. Let's see if the double rest can be made.
Yes, smart, intelligent Valkyrie usage from 4 Eyes, waiting out that Tac Visor to bring back her fallen team members. And now overtime is ticking down in the blink of an eye. It is going to be a 99-94% game. And Pew 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 dashing in there, making quick work of the members of Insomniac Boogie. There is nothing that can stand in the face of this Genji, and that's just going to be a celebratory Dragon Blade as Omen managed to win out our first round of Nepal.
Man, those fights are also scrappy. Whenever I saw a fight start off, I was like, okay, this team is clearly gonna win the fight. Whenever I saw that, the opposite team would actually end up winning the fight. So I don't know whether I don't understand what's happening or whether these teams are just clutching it out at the moment.
Right? Pew Pew Pew. I mean, shout out to this Genji player. He was the hero his team needed there so many times that it looked dire for Omen's hopes, but he was able to bring it back with a 3k Dragon Blade. Now he's going to be looking to see if he can do the same on a Pharah now as we open up onto Village. The other side, Insomniac Boogie going to be running their own air combo with Lakota and Argander taking to the skies. Interestingly though, Fives will be choosing to run a Moira rather than the Lucio from Dr. Eggplant.
And it seems like Omen is opting for the push towards the point instead of the high ground, and honestly I'm questioning their choice a bit. Why would you run Pharah Mercy when you opt to go for a play onto the point? The Moira though fits in very well, close quarter, that orb can bounce off the walls pretty easily, and talking about Pharah's, first Pharah has taken out the Mercy, but there's the return kill. Pew 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 says, no, you're not just taking out my Mercy without paying for it.
Exactly, Pew 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 getting the revenge for his Swiss healer here, but it's going to be Insomniac Boogie with the point presence. Both of the tanks brawling it out here, and Wild Bill is going to fall to the hammer of Tachyon. And although Pew 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 manages to pick up Argander in the backline there, it's going to be but a consolation kill for that Pharah. And now Insomniac Boogie with the advantage. It's so much easier to hold a point rather than try and approach it with this pharmacy composition. But Omen will have a slight ultimate advantage. Pew 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 at 62% to his barrage, whereas Lakota is barely at 40%.
Yeah, and we've touched on it before, you just simply cannot lose your Mercy as the first target, and that pretty much won the fight for Insomniac Boogie there, but now there's a lot of brawling going on again. Coach Taeyeon just charges in, gets taken out by the Senyara. We see the Pharah battle in the air, both Pharahs shooting rockets left, right, and center, and Pew 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 hitting those direct hits, but it doesn't matter because all of his team is already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Perhaps the lack of dedicated hit scan from the side of Omen is coming to hurt them here. We see that Yotsuichi is ready with Attack Visor to answer anything from Pew 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 in the sky in this next fight. It's going to be all on the shoulders of Cosmic to see what he can do with that Pulse Bomb. He's actually going to give up that ultimate. A swap coming in for Omen, going to be picking up the McCree instead to aid this anti-air effort, but they're going to have their work cut out for them. Lakota has the possibility to end this fight before it even starts with a well-placed barrage.
Yeah, and we see Omen immediately going for the point instead of opting for that high ground control, because Sephara is way stronger on high ground, so they want to avoid her as much as possible. Graviton Surge coming out though now, and my goodness, what a combination! Those were pretty much 3 instant kills from Lakota, taking out the enemy team, and the ticker is at 83%. They have only one more push to go.
Ooh. It is do or die here as we watch this hot justice raining down from Lakota. There's not an umbrella in the world that will save you from all of these rockets, but with on the board for Insomniac Boogie, Omen have to get on the point. Overtime has been started, and that's going to be a very painful pick for Omen right off the point. Lakota manages to find 5s there, and now Attack Visor out from Yotsuichi, looking to see what he can get done. Pew 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 manages to take him down in the middle of it, but there's no follow-up for this Graviton Surge at all on the objective. Sound barrier dropped from Dr. Eggplant, and this Reinhardt has been going mad. Coach Taeyeon doesn't need to hold his shield at all when there's nothing to shield from, as there are no members from Omen alive at all. Pew 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 was the last one alive, and there's not going to be any bodies on the point as Insomniac Boogie tying things up here 1-1.
And I think the main problem here in the last fight was maybe the communication, because Pew 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 had his barrage up, whilst the Zarya player wasn't around 90%. Will Bill, he was around on 90%, and instead of maybe using his barrage alone, he could have waited for the Graviton Surge, because man, Wild Bill had like 5 people in the Graviton. If they could have comboed that up, they could have stolen that play of the game from the opposite side.
Right? Absolutely a missed opportunity there for some beautiful alt combos, some Reddit plays from the side of Omen, but perhaps that was just a warm-up round. They've shaken off the jitters, they stopped playing with their feet, and they're going to be bringing the thunder on Sanctum now. Orisa coming out from memes, and Insomniac Boogie going to be answering with nearly a mirror comp. The only difference will be Lakota on that Junkrat versus Cosmic's Tracer.
And this should, on paper, definitely favor the team with the Junker. They have way more shield pressure. And Tracer isn't too good in this map because all the paths are narrow and she can pretty much only run in one straight line. And if you eat one Dark Hit from Junkrat, you're Gonzo with a damage boost. However, one team here, Omen, is first on the point, and suddenly it doesn't sound like forced anymore because they're nearly capping it already.
Exactly. Insomniac Boogie falling asleep at the wheel perhaps a little bit, giving up so much of the tick on the objective, but it's not going to matter if you can't convert that point presence into kills. Wild Bill going to be the first one to fall, and memes right after him. 4 Eyes, though, has this Valkyrie earned already, brings back the main tank in this fight, but Wild Bill's going to have to walk back from respawn, and no! Cosmic with that beautiful 2k pulse bomb forces the resurrection out from Argander, but Pew 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 is there to answer with this Tac Visor. Both of these teams have been poking back and forth so fast, so much that already these huge ultimates have been online. But Pew 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 barely able to get anything for that Tac Visor. There are still members from Insomniac Boogie on this field. Indeed, Dr. Eggplant is going to be dropping the beat as well, but there's not going to be any counterplay to that great whole hog, pushing all of the members of Insomniac Boogie off of the map. But despite all of this, both teams are still brawling this out. Neither one wants to give a single inch.
Yeah, and it's hard to catch a breath right here. Both teams managed to make sure that the point is not getting flipped for either side. Really big props for them, because it takes a lot of coordination, as we just see Pew 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 going down there. And yeah, as I just mentioned, a lot of coordination going on there, because it was not just one team being stationed on a point. First it was Omen, then they go push back, and then it was Insomniac, and then they go push back, and now eventually it's Omen again. And the Tracer was really paying off there, because she could touch the point again and again and again. However, right now she's dead, so let's see what Insomniac can make with the number advantage.
Ooh, the Tracer may be gone, but Pew 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 is still around, manages to take out Lakota. But it's going to be hashtag winning out that wild pig battle here. And with 4 eyes falling, things are looking very dire for Omen to try and hold here at all. It's going to be another fast point flip for Insomniac Boogie, as Omen have barely 40% on the board for themselves.
We didn't catch that on stream. However, Cosmic on that Tracer recalled into the pit of death and pretty much sealed his fate. But it didn't matter because they had to reset pretty much anyways, and now here they are with 4 ultimates going out, nearly 5, as 4 eyes is so close onto that pulse. And oh my goodness, if that pulse bomb was a bit more to the right, it would have been a 4K. But
that would have been
positioning on them.
That would have been so incredible. But now Lakota looking to see if he can make everything come up explodey with his tire, just teasing. Oh, finally finds 4 eyes in the background. Those tires have been so incredibly deadly for Omen so far this map. But Lakota has been taken out of this fight, and the TAC visor is on the field for Pew Pew Pew. It is going to be all of the environmental kills lighting up the kill feed here. Dr. Bill, Wild Bill answering with a hook. Dr. Eggplant manages to find the boop kill as well, and both of these teams have been so incredibly evenly matched thus far. It's been so difficult to call these fights. But the resurrection is back for Memes. That Orisa is going to be standing strong on this point. And Omen, with the more players on the objective, look like they might just be able to flip this if they can get the necessary kills.
Goodness gracious, did you see how long Dr. Eggman was able to stall this out? It was like 15% on his own, and now his team is here to help him out. Wildcard being used, and their own Warbongies are being placed on the point. But man, Yatsuchi, he got grabbed down again by Wild Bill. I don't know if it's gonna matter. There's so many kills left, right, and center. Another Riptide coming out. Wheel of Death bouncing around. Look at Pew 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 desperately trying to shoot it.
Oh! And Memes actually manages to take that tire out of the fight. This brawl has been going on for so incredibly long. It's going to be overtime soon for Insomniac Boogie. Omen half can't leave this point now. Pew 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 has that TAC visor, and finally he's been able to find a couple of kills. And with that, the point flip in the last seconds, 99 to 45. At the very last second, Omen have been able to secure their point presence. Man, Memes has just been camping on this objective for so long, he needs to start paying rent.
Yeah, probably he's paying his rent to Meme. I think everyone would take that, but I want to mention that Pew Pew Pew, whenever Pew 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 is popping off, his team is able to capture the point or recapture it or defend. However, I worry for them in this series because so far it's always only been when he's been popping off. So let's see if his teammates can step up a bit and lend him a hand by carrying. And it seems like Wild Bill is already doing so because there are 2 people down.
Oh man, Omen should be renamed Team Environmental Kills. Wild Bill has been lighting up the scene with his beautiful hooks, and that is going to be hook number, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Memes also adding in with the kill onto Argander. There is going to be no way Insomniac Boogie can try and push this with less than 6 men, but time is ticking down. They have to touch a toe on this point. 97%. It's been just now started by Dr. Eggplant, but he's going to be eating a face full of scrap courtesy of the Wild Bill's whole hog, and with that, victory for Omen. Oh man, I need to catch a breath. My heart has just been pounding a mile a minute. What an incredible round.
And definitely deserved play of the game here. I expect some hooks down in the pit of death. Was even right at the end. There he goes. Takes 1, takes 2, and makes sure no one is ever gonna touch that point again. Not even the soldier.
Oh man, Wild Bill. We've been hyping Pew Pew Pew's TAC visors, but maybe the MVP just might be Wild Bill with 6 environmental kills to his name in just that single round. Oh, goodness gracious. The thing is, there's just no counterplay for these environmental kills. You get hooked, you get booped, you're gonna say hello to the pit. There's no defense matrixing away those bullets, there's no healing away that damage. It's game over for you. You're going back a free trip to respawn.
Yeah, at least you didn't have to pay for the trip. It's something. But they surely need to watch out more for these kind of maps. So, for example, if we end up seeing the 5th map, it could be Ilios, and there's also a map where you can pull down people. So there's a lot of stuff being able to happen. However, now the next map is going to be Escort, and Escort is actually the map type that Omen is preferring, but they're not allowed to pick the map. So let's see if Insomniac Boogie plays them into their hands and maybe picks up the Junkertown or Gibraltar they like so much.
Indeed, Insomniac Boogie gonna have to tread carefully. Omen feels they're strongest on full Escort maps. But there's going to be a little bit of a team roster swap up. Insomniac Boogie's support player and another one of their regular roster will be joining us. So we're just cut to a short break. More Overwatch action right after this. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Road to Open Division Show Matches night. Tonight, we're bringing you Omen versus Insomniac Boogie. Omen will be the team on the blue side, and Insomniac Boogie will be bringing up the red. And already, Omen going to be knocking their first win tonight with a pretty dominant performance on Nepal.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. They closed out that map in a really good fashion there. And Wild Bill, man, that guy on the Roadhog, it was deadly. His hooks pretty surely were deadly. And they've shown that they can be diverse. So I'm looking forward to how diverse they are going to be on this map. Because Route 66 is a map that has three very different parts. Like in the last part, for example, it's really close quarters. You surely not gonna see a fair there. More likely a Rhino composition. Whilst here on the first part, with the gas station, there could be some fair play. But also for the defending side, for example, we could see some Sombra play. But this time around, it seems like they are opting for their Roadhog and Orisa composition yet again. So we're gonna see some mini graph into hook comps.
Yep, the halt into hook. Very strong combo here. Almost a guaranteed pick every single time. Interestingly, though, Wild Bill, who is lighting up the kill feed with those great environmentals in our last round, will be picking up the Tracer instead, passing the Piggy Torch to Memes, who will be taking the mantle of the Roadhog. On the attacking side, though, Insomniac Boogie instead going for a Reinhardt Roadhog composition. And no! Oh! Coach Taeyeon gonna be paying with his life there. An early hook gets rid of the Insomniac Boogie main tank, but this payload still making a little bit of progress here, scooted along by Dr. Eggplant, just being a little Lucio here, hiding behind the payload as Reinhardt is back into the fight.
And it's really interesting here to see Reinhardt and Roadhog being teamed up. That's normally not a tank duo that you see that often anymore. I also don't understand why, because look at it, the shield's just breaking fast, hooks from Meme are coming down, and now they're suddenly scattered around. 2 people on the payload and 4 on the high ground, and they have to come back together and be one death knell with that composition.
This is a very interesting split attack. You see that Coach Taeyeon is using his shield to protect Yotsuichi on this 76, give him the ability to fire away, get that consistent damage in, while the Roadhog is the one who will be pushing the payload. But no! Oh, Wild Bill! Goodness gracious, he has been equally good on this Tracer as he has on that Roadhog, picking up 3 kills for himself before he dies to a charge from Coach Taeyeon, but no matter at all, it's going to be easy peasy for Four Eyes to bring Splatonic back on this Orisa, and Wild Bill will have to run back from the spawn on his own legs, but that's going to be no problem for a Tracer with those blinks. And a pretty solid defense for Omen right off the bat, and they're coming into a couple of really big ultimates.
Yeah, and so far it just seems like a shooting competition between Meme and Wild Bill. As I say that though, the tank mate for Meme, Splatonic gets evaporated, hooked down into the whole talk from Hashtag. At the same time though, Pew 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 stepping up huge again, taking out the Mercy. However, his own Mercy falls as well, and it seems like Coach Taeyeon and his team will be able to push forward as the Dragon Blade is being unchefed but taken down.
Yeah, Lakota getting shut down there with a beautiful triple tap from Fives. Now the investment of the Transcendence is going to be keeping just a couple members from the defense here alive, but good patience from Yotsuichi, waiting for that 300 HP per second healing to go down before he unleashes his visor to great effect. Omen getting extremely staggered here as they try to make their last stand on point A. Supercharger out from Splatonic, going to be aiding with the damage boost onto Pew Pew Pew, but they need bodies on this point. You mustn't forget the objective. Oh, goodness gracious. And despite all of the kills coming in from that Soldier 76, Omen's going to be giving up this first point once Splatonic dies.
Yeah, and it felt like they were just getting too excited. Pew 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 lighting up the kill feed, and suddenly they forgot about actually touching the point, what mattered the most there. And here we are in the second phase of Route 66, and there's a lot of high ground yet again, so I'm still curious to see whether those teams are gonna adjust as Wild Bill opens up things by taking out Coach Taeyeon. And man, I'd really love to see some monkey play here on that part, because I don't see Reinhardt being really good.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult both on the attacking and defending side, using these really stationary tanks, unable to use any kind of vertical mobility that's offered here on the streets phase of Route 66. But interestingly, Insomniac Boogie, despite getting a pretty good distance on the payload, are going to be giving up a considerable amount of space, just letting Omen set their defense as they will here with the Orisa shield at the choke. But we do see it was because Insomniac Boogie deciding to go on the high ground route instead. Taking your advice here, Sharper, going to be playing the verticality game.
Yes, smart movements there, and look at Coach Taeyeon. His positioning is really good for that Earth Shatter, and he takes down 5 onto the ground, but doesn't manage to take him down. Here's the Genji blade coming from his teammate though, and the Genji surely is gonna take down 5 with the help of Yosichu, but the kill feed is still raining in blue as Meme is just going ham with his whole hog and makes sure that his team might end up winning that fight.
Yes, indeed. Tac Visor out now from Pew Pew Pew, looking to see if he can get as much done as he has in the past with this ultimate, but he's going to be coming up with a big fat 0 as that Soldier 76 is all by himself on the high ground, forced to dash away from that Genji. And despite everything, this payload has still been making good movement, but no! Wild Bill with the beautiful shutdown. Yotsuichi, you don't want to catch that pulse bomb with your face, my friend. Gonna be finding nothing off of the back of that Tac Visor, but despite all of this, Insomniac Boogie are still trying to push. They haven't given up a single inch. Finally now, though, Coach Taeyeon going to be escaping with his life here. A charge back to choke to rejoin his team.
Yeah, and with 1.5 minutes left, this just feels like every fight feels like a shooting competition between Meme and Wild Bill. burst. Meme starts it off, gets a hook, takes one out, and you can already feel like, see, Wild Bill, I'm the better Roadhogger than you. And suddenly Wild Bill steps it out, takes down 2 with his pulse bomb, or even without a pulse bomb. And that's been the story so far for the fights. Let's see if Coach Seon and his team can actually manage to break the pattern as they attempt to come over the high ground again.
Yes, it's going to be a second try with this same engagement. Yotsuichi, though, is going to be falling down to Meme early on here. Hashtag going down to Wild Bill, and Argander is only 50% to that Valkyrie. However, this is a pretty clean team wipe. Insomniac Boogie wisely choosing to save themselves, not feed any more ult charge. They're going to regroup for yet another push. They have 40 seconds on the board to try and capture a second point here. And they'll have to go up against Meme's Whole Hog and contend with Four Eyes, who will soon be cosplaying a moth in the air with that Valkyrie.
Yeah, and the man of the hour for Insomnia Boogie has to be Lakota here with that Dragonblade coming up, so they take another attempt here as Lakota unsheaths the blade, dashes in, takes down the Mercy, so the Valkyrie is completely out of the game as Meme is darting away the Reinhardt who had the Earth Shatter ready to go, and now the kill feed is all blue. Meme with another hook, gets hooked in return, but stays alive and takes down the Roadhog. And now it's only Yotsuchi, what a name. Alive on the payment.
Ooh, what a name and what a death. He's just going to be donating his body to the pile of respawns. As round 1 completes here, actually about halfway to point B. So an impressive defense there considering the very odd and scrappy point A fight.
And even though that fight started off so well for Insomniac with, Blade taking out the Mercy, it just wasn't enough because, man, Meme on that Roadhog hooked one, took him down, and I don't know if you caught it, but the Reinhardt, he went flying at the highest speed I've ever seen in Overwatch and was just taken down. And at that point, it was just number advantages. And even a Mercy cannot make that number advantages up to even again. So they're holding on to that there in the second phase. And that's really good for Hollywood. You either see, normally what you see is either first point holds or full push throughs. You barely ever see the game ending there in the middle of a map.
You're right. It's a very odd place to be able to stabilize your defense on like the halfway point between streets. But Coach Taeyeon, yeah, on that Reinhardt pick, perhaps not really well suited to this map. You're not going to be able to win out that shield battle against the Orisa, who can replace that 800 HP shield every 8 seconds. And you're not going to be adding any DPS in either, as Reinhardt, all he has is that fire strike every 7 seconds, or his hammer, which will require, him to be within melee range. So Insomniac Boogie will have their work cut out for them in terms of holding Omen back, but for the attacking side, things are looking pretty good. The win condition is clear, just 1 point and a bit in order to secure their second win of tonight. To do so, though, they themselves will be pulling out this German shield master. Meme going to be picking up that Reinhardt, and Splatonic bringing up his back with this Zarya.
Yeah, an interesting thing that we can see right here. Fives picking the Hanzo, shooting a sonic arrow at the wall above the tunnels to check whether the enemy team probably is playing Sombra. That's what I assume. And we saw there's no one up there. We're safe to go. Let's push forward. And Meme is leading his team towards the upper tunnels.
Interestingly, though, Lakota gonna be on this Rocket Queen once again on the defensive side. Very unique pick we don't see very often. Pew 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 gonna have his work cut out for him to keep her at bay and the rest of his team safe. But for now, it's just gonna be a shield poke battle as both teams gonna be posturing, one on Big Earls and the other just across the way on the catwalk. But that is a huge pick for Omen. Insomniac Boogie gonna have no mercy, no resurrection. All deaths will be permanent on the board from now on. It's gonna be up to the attacking team, though, to make use of this advantage.
And just when I wanted to say, Omen needs to be careful that they don't trap themselves in the tunnel versus Farah, it was Argander who had to be careful because she got taken out by Pew 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 on that soldier, and that means free pushing here, and ultimates are coming up soon for Four Eyes and Pew Pew Pew. That could be huge, and the first pick already again from Fives on that Mora. Rotucci is just down. Reinhardt charging in and takes down Fives in return, and the kill feed is red. Valkyrie coming out.
Yes, Valkyrie out from Four Eyes brings back both Pew 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 and Fives, but she's not going to have another one to bring Splatonic back from the dead. But despite all of this memes going off, wow, oh my goodness, this Reinhardt is lighting up this kill feed. He is showing us that Winston is not the only tank he's deadly with, as sometimes, I mean, you forget that Reinhardt hammer, 75 damage per swing, and you're not really going to be missing those strikes.
Yeah, especially
take.
Especially when your best friend, the Swiss medic, is damage boosting. That's not only 75. That's a bit more than 70 damage. And don't forget, you can hit multiple targets. So old man can hurt actually. But now they're going to face the same dilemma that Insomniac Boogie was facing before, and that is that high ground. And I wonder how they're going to try to handle this.
Yep. Ooh, Earth Shatter out. There's gonna be no high ground battles here, as everybody has committed to the ground game on the payload. Despite Coach Taeyeon whiffing that Earth Shatter, the rest of his team has his back, as now Lakota brings down that hot Justice, takes out Fives right away. And despite investing both of those ults in this hold, Insomniac Boogie's still gonna have 3 online in the next engagement. Yotsuichi's attack visor, but the biggest one is definitely going to be hashtags Graviton Surge. As long as this Zarya can stay healthy, she'll have a perfect opening to lay this in. It's going to be the battle of the unwilling hugs, as Platonic himself has also worked up to his ult. Whoa!
Goodness gracious, that's what I was talking about before. They need to be really careful that they don't trap themselves in a tunnel, because it effectively makes it so that Farah only has to spam one angle, and she just did, and there were 2 people dying immediately. So I really hope that they're coming out more in an open field where there's not only one angle, and try to spread out of it so Lakota doesn't get the easiest play of the game here. And look at the ultimates. We have 11 ultimates, nearly the 12 from Lakota coming up as well, so this could be a real slaughterfest.
Yep, it's going to be an absolutely huge ultimate showdown on top of this motorcycle garage here, but instead, Omen disengaged. They get onto this payload. They don't want to forget the objective, as the Graviton Surge is thrown out by hashtag. Very little follow-up, though, as the Earth Shatter is thrown in from memes. He manages to get the pin kill onto Coach Tachyon, so there's going to be very little shielding for this defensive side, but they're not going to need it when it's going to be the battling tack visors here. Pew 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 manages to take out Argonder, while Four Eyes still is alive in the backline. Oh my goodness. Wild Bill, yet again, unerringly finds 2 members of the defense with that pulse bomb, and Fives, you coalesce, my friend. That tube chance just going to be the cherry on top as this payload is making its way towards the golden box of victory.
It's not over yet though, because Argonder has that wildcard coming up. That means Coach Taeyeon can just go a bit to him, but look at Wild Bill takes out Argonder in the wildcard. It's almost impossible to do as Tracer at the map, and now it's do or die time for Insomniac Boogie as the cart is approaching the golden box of victory closer and closer, and Meme is just swinging that 70 damage hammer left, right, and takes down Insomniac Boogie and ensures the victory on Route 66 for Team Omen.
Wowie. You can tell now why Omen prefers full escort style maps. That was a masterclass in attack and defense. Insomniac Boogie, though, putting up quite the fight on the defensive side, but unfortunately in the end they weren't able to hold against Omen. This Graviton Surge now, we just enjoy this great play of the game from Pew Pew Pew, stealing that POTG from Wild Bill, perhaps. He's going to be earning his card with 7 Pulse Bomb kills. That is quite something for a Tracer in any tier of this game.
Especially considering that he had 24 elements. That pretty much means every 3rd kill was a Pulse Bomb kill. And that's a pretty big number. And the longer the maps go, the matches go, it feels more and more like Omen is getting a grasp of how to play against Insomniac Boogie and how to abuse their mistakes. Because right now, in the end, they were just outplaying them as a team. When all those 12 ultimates were up, they were really patient and were slowly baiting out the key ultimates, the Earth Shatter, the Graviton, and especially the Transcendence. They baited out the Transcendence with the Visor. After that, it was an easy follow-up for the Graviton Pulse Bomb from Wild Bill and Splatonic, and it was just beautifully played.
Indeed, you're absolutely right, Sharper. Omen, not to take anything away from the individual skill of Insomniac Boogie, but Omen coming in with that extra layer of teamwork and synergy, bringing home Route 66. And now, looks like there will be another roster swap. Donkey Kong coming in for Insomniac Boogie. Perhaps he'll be the difference maker for this team as we move into our third map, which I do believe will be Assault.
And it seems like it's actually going to be Temple of Anubis, unless we have some wrong information, but I truly believe in that information.
Yep.
And they actually said it in chat, so it's gonna be Temple of Anubis, and if you've been following the pro scene lately, especially Overwatch League also, which have started off last week, we've seen some Temple of Anubis and some new different threats with Orisa inbuilt in the defense on first point that included, for example, May boosting on top of the roof. But we've also seen a lot of Widowmaker, then we've seen some Sombra again, so teams are really diverse on that map. There's not one key route to go, and I really like seeing what these teams have in store for us, because we've also seen some non-meta play here with the Reinhardt, so maybe they also have something special up their sleeves for us here.
Yeah, definitely some unique compositions coming out from both of these teams. I mean, Reinhardt, Roadhog, harkening back to the glory days of triple tank, almost. But both of these teams made it work. So moving into Assault is going to be even more open. We've seen throughout Owl many teams investing in that full dive, such as Soul Dynasty, or going with that triple tank, sometimes even quadruple tank composition. Roadhog, Orisa, Diva, Zarya. Perhaps we might see some of that. Regardless, I know it's going to be even more good games from our two competitors tonight.
Yeah, and the most important hero, in my opinion, on Temple of Anubis is going to be Widowmaker. Because Widowmaker, there are those long ranges, and there are those many high grounds, like on attack on the first, can grapple up the arc. Whilst on defense, the Widowmaker could just stay on the roof, left side or right side of the point, it doesn't even matter. So there's a lot of verticality again, and a lot of long distances, and that pretty much yells sniper already, doesn't it?
For sure. Oh, excuse me. Had to swallow back a burp there. But you're right, Sharper. Widowmaker has won, next to Genji, probably the single greatest carry potential of any hero in the game right now. It would be a shame to not see either of these teams run a Widow on Anubis, but looking at the rosters right here, none of the players really list her as one of their preferred DPS. Of course, we have seen Pew 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 on that Soldier 76, not to mention Yotsuichi on the side of Insomniac Boogie. So those two hit scan players might just be picking up that purple French lady moving into round 3.
Yeah, you also never know about those hidden Smurf accounts with 100 hours Widowmaker playtime, so never count that out, because some players just don't show exactly what they are going to play on their main. And I mean, maybe it's also Coach Tayon picking up the Widowmaker, because he's rocking the Widowmaker player icon in the lobby. However, here we are in Egypt on Temple of Anubis.
Yep, we're going to find out soon whether either of these teams will be playing a sniper into our first Assault map of tonight. But, I don't know, everything's been so incredibly closely matched. We've been praising Omen's teamwork, but things were looking really close there after the first point A on Route 66. They were having such a hard time restabilizing their defense, but once they did, it was an easy peasy hold. So if Insomniac Boogie can get a snowball going here, Assault maps, of course, always well known for either going like 0-0, or like 1-1, or like 8-7, right? So teams being able to capitalize on that momentum, keep the ball rolling one cap after another, is definitely going to be something to watch out for. And Omen will have the first chance to defend here, perhaps hold Insomniac Boogie at just a single point cap. That'll definitely help them in their round 2.
Yeah, but, look at Omen. We've mentioned it before. The May, the Orisa, they're boosting up the team onto the roof. And they're gonna sit up there, but I think they forgot about Pony. Poor Pony didn't get up. Now they don't exactly know what to do. So seems like they're gonna improvise. They're not gonna get on the roof. They're gonna play on the plateau like you used to do it 1 year ago. Old but gold.
It's gonna be old but gold. Oh my god, dude, that is amazing. I love that phrase. Old but gold. I'm gonna steal it. All right. It's okay, I'll credit you. Old but gold, Sharper, 2018. All right, though. But as we open up on Anubis, Insomniac Boogie investing wholeheartedly in this full dive composition. Genji and Tracer for Lakota and Yotsuichi, and Winston and Diva for Hashtag and Coach Taeyeon. But first DMEC is going to be going the way of Omen and Dr. Eggplant. No, this time we'll be taking up that Swiss Dr. Mantle, but she's going to be going out of the fight very quickly. Pew 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 already finding a great headshot on that Widowmaker. But despite all of those early kills, Insomniac Boogie are still pressing their luck here on this, on the objective. Coach Taeyeon able to take down 2 players before falling himself, but losing that with, since they've lost their main tank now, Insomniac Boogie likely going to be falling back here. Or not.
Yeah, and look at Omen. All that is there on the point is a lot of HP and the Moira. That's pretty much all. Even though they lost 2 members, they still had around 1.5k HP on the point with the 3 tanks, and boom! Wild Bill, another hook, another kill.
Oh.
And they were just not killable because 3 tanks, a shield, and a Moira. How are you gonna kill that if you're not pinpoint perfect and target calling? And therefore, Insomniac needs to regroup, and Meme, that guy already has a Graviton Surge going up, and I'm pretty sure either Wild Bill or Fives would love to combine their ultimates with him.
Exactly. Insomniac Boogie likely going to be tasting the hug and tug soon as the hook comes in, bringing in Hashtag. Doesn't manage to get the D-Mech, but the whole hog is on the field. Wild Bill gonna make sure everybody gets their daily iron supplement courtesy of that whole hog. Manages to pick up Yotsuichi. It is an absolute ultimate showdown on this payload now, but Hashtag, oh, he may just have done it for his team. With that self-destruct, finds not only Pew Pew Pew, but 4 Eyes as well. And now it's going to be just cleanup time for Insomniac Boogie on this objective here. Wild Bill does get the hook, but he's going to be taken out, sent back to respawn before he can find the headshot kill there. And what a way to capture point A. Here we were doubting them, but Insomniac Boogie are here to play.
Yeah, Insomniac Boogie, they're here, and they show some explosive gameplay here, literally with Hashtag Steva Bomb pretty much securing them this fight, and 4 Eyes and Meme weren't even able to ultimate, so lucky for them, they still have it now for the second point, and maybe can push back that snowball that you talked about, deny it.
Yep, Yotsuichi, though, has the opportunity to finish this. Pulse Bomb goes out, not going to connect with any kills here. It's going to be 5 with the D-Mech onto Hashtag once again. But Dr. Eggplant does have that Valkyrie on the field. It's dueling moths, 4 Eyes as well. Going to be able to bring back any of the members of the defense, as it's an absolute brawl here on the payload. Moira streams crossing. Oh, goodness gracious. Mech's getting taken back, but it's going to be Pew 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 with the kill onto Yotsuichi, and this could be big. Oh, Lakota falls right afterwards, and this means Insomniac Boogie not going to have any bite to back up their bark. No DPS for this attacking team, so these tanks better get out of dodge here as they're just feeding ultimate charge right now.
Yeah, what was interesting to me was that fact that Wild Bill, even though he used his ultimate in the last fight on point A, he already had another one ready to go here, so he could fully deny the enemy Tracer player, forced to recall, and then pushed him away, so there was no Tracer there. However, also good team play from Insomniac Boogie. I don't know if you caught it, but Pew Pew Pew's Dragon Blade got completely denied by really good movement from the side of Insomniac Boogie, so that was really good there. It wasn't enough in the end, but if they keep on going like this, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to take the point.
Yes, very possible. They're going to have to play their cards close to their chest, however, as Lakota going to be eating an Orisa headshot. That's going to be a no Junkrat down on the field for Insomniac Boogie. And despite this, Coach Taeyeon decides to go in anyways. Maybe a little bit of a miscomm there. But the rest of the team wisely standing back behind the choke, waiting for a full regroup. They will have the Pulse Bomb and the Transcendence for this next fight, but they'll have to contend with the fully stacked ultimate bank coming in from Omen.
Yeah, and Coach Teon is opting for the old man again, the German engineer. Let's see if he can make enough space for his team. The space that they, so desperately need right now, because they're not even getting on point anymore since that last fight. And talking about not getting on point, it's Pew Pew time. Pew Pew takes one, and now unchefs the blade, maybe a bit too enthusiastic as he gets taken down. But it's still a 5v5, and 5 ultimates still ready to go for the side of Omen. But it doesn't even seem like that they need to use them.
Yep, a 5v5 quickly becomes a 3v6 here as more members of Insomniac Boogie will fall to the bullets from Omen. Resurrection from Four Eyes brings back 5s just in case Insomniac Boogie decide to press their luck, but the team decides to try and regroup once again. Luckily, attackers didn't use a single ultimate in that last push. Pew 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 going to be the only one throwing out that Dragon Blade. As you said, getting a little bit too enthusiastic. There was no support for that Genji at all, but luckily his team have his back. Graviton Surge, Battle Bongo, Coalescence, and the Whole Hog all ready and online for the defense. A single one of these ultimates could spell doom for Insomniac's push.
And Coach Taeyeon and his team is trying a different route yet again to approach this point. 5 ultimates also coming up from their side. I wonder if they're deciding to open it up with a Riptide, but it's 5 who opens it up with that Coalescence, taking out Dr. Eggplant, excuse me, but the return kill onto the Mercy from the side of Omen is there, and the Pulse Bomb throws it up. Both supports are down for the side of Omen. Graviton Surge coming out, 2 kills with that Riptide, and doesn't do anything because I already said now it's time to shine for Pew 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 with that Dragon Blade. 1 kill, 2 kill, maybe make it 3 if he's lucky, but he has to run for the moment.
Oh, but what incredible synergy there. Pew Pew Pew. I thought that maybe this Genji was getting a little bit too big for his britches yet again, but he heard Four Eyes pop that Valkyrie back close to spawn, so he knew that he would have that healing and support for his blade on the point, and so Four Eyes goes in, gives him that backup, brings Platonic back onto the field, and that's going to be game over for Insomniac Boogie. They have less than a minute to try and make something of it, and they're running on empty. They're going to have to rely entirely on their mechanical skill to win this out, and Omen still have both the Orisa Supercharger and Wild Bill's Whole Hog to defend.
Yeah, talking of Wild Bill, opens things up with another great hook again. Kill comes through with the help of Meme, and Pew 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 is there to follow it up with a second kill as well. 30 seconds is the timer, so if Insomniac Boogie manages to get a clean reset here, they could get another attempt at pushing this. But look at Omen, they're pushing so deep out. Pew Pew Pew, yet another kill on Coach Taeyeon, and it's 20 seconds left.
Ooh, Yotsuichi is still alive, but just by hanging on by a sliver of health, manages to get healed up here, but that means that he's going to have to run a considerable time to get even a foot onto this objective and start overtime. Valkyrie out now, comboed with hashtags Whole Hog. He actually manages to find Platonic and the Battle Bongo here, but Fives is out with his Coalescence. But what can a single Moira do against an Earth Shatter? Coach Taeyeon lays that Moira flat onto her back here, and finally, in the 25th hour, Insomniac Boogie might just have done it. D.Va at the very last second is not going to be able to touch the point. Insomniac Boogie with a 2-2 take of round 1 of Anubis.
And man, all of this happened because of one single mistake. The mistake was Omen getting too cocky. It was the right decision to push out and grab that kill onto Coach Taeyeon so that they surely had to reset and come in last second. But then they just stayed for a little too long, and that resulted in Four Eyes, the Mercy player, getting picked. And that was the perfect opening, the opening Insomniac Boogie needed. And man, they pulled it off pretty brutally there, just popping the whole hog, pocketing the Roadhog with the Valkyrie, making sure he's killing everyone. And they did, and now they kept it into overtime. And this forces Omen to at least finish this map if they want to have a shot at winning it.
That's right. What an overextension from Omen spelled their doom. That Moira Coalescence, what a great shutdown from Coach Taeyeon. Just laid her flat there. No more tube trance for you, my friend. Goodness gracious. But now Insomniac Boogie going to have to make sure that they don't fall prey to the same unforced errors that Omen did in their defending round. As we open up once again on Anubis. Looks like Fives is going to be picking up the Widowmaker to open things up. I like this. As you said, not only does she have an incredible one-shot kill potential to just blow open this map, especially because Insomniac Boogie is choosing not to run a Mercy, but just forcing the enemy team to respect those sightlines is going to make sure that Omen knows exactly where they're holed up.
Yeah, and look at the opposing side though. Insomniac, they're doing the exact same strat that Omen was trying to do before, just with one single difference. They're not leaving their pets down on the ground. They're leaving their animals up on the roof as well. And there we go. Right? Like how we've seen it in the Overwatch League. Just one difference is there, and that's Lakota on the Chungra. That's rather uncommon for this strategy. So let's see how this works out.
Yeah, defensive Junkrat, a little bit unusual here, but he's going to be showing why he picked that hero. Takes out Meme straight away, but despite that early pick, it's going to be all blue in the kill feed here as Fives has been flying utterly untouched, just able to lay in those rockets, pew pew pew, following up with the beautiful finishes. And despite the incredible time that Insomniac Boogie had on the map after point A, Omen have beat it by nearly 30 seconds. They'll have over 7 minutes to try and finish out Anubis.
Yeah, and I think the main problem there was Insomniac Boogie got way too scared. As soon as Meme jumped on the point, they were like, oh my god, we gotta go drop down, we're gonna lose the point. And that's actually not what you want to do if you set up the Orisa on the roof. You actually want to pressure them from the roof, and they totally played them into the hands and were pretty much sacrificing themselves for their good. And let's see how this works out on the second point, as there's no roof to jump down and fall into death. The only death there is to be found is maybe Lakota's Riptire. Boom!
Oh! Oh! Oh my goodness, that is an exploding unicycle if I have ever seen one, folks. That is a beautiful 3K, and I do believe we have the replay there. Replay it once, replay it 7 times. That was just incredible. I mean, at that point, Omen were likely already going to back off, but that is called winning with style, my friend. It's all about sending that message that Insomniac Boogie are not to be trifled with. Indeed, they're going to have that the tack visor for this next fight, and Dr. Eggplant 75% to that Valkyrie again. Omen, though, will have a couple of opening ults. Pew 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 with that blade in his back pocket, not to mention Five's barrage. If perhaps they can get a flank on here, they could just win out this fight in just 2 ultimates.
Yeah, and look at Fives with 4 eyes. They're flanking in from one side, whilst Pew 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 comes in with the Dragon Blade from the other side. They're making sure that Pew 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 doesn't die, as the Transcendence is there. Keep him alive, and all the members of Insomniac already dead. Are they even gonna make it back on point? I don't think so. Rocket Barrage coming out, but look at the smart Diva Matrix. That might be the window to open it, but no one's going to touch the point, and therefore Owen is gonna capture it with 5.5 minutes left, and all they have to do in those 5.5 minutes is take the first point again.
One tick is all that separates Omen from their 3rd win of tonight. What a dominant performance. Here we were talking about Barrage, maybe the Dragon Blade. All they needed was to give Pew 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 the room to unsheath his sword, and he just went to town on Insomniac Boogie. Great communication between the Genji and the Zenyatta, comboing that blade with the Transcendence, making sure that everybody stayed up. And 4 Eyes actually had that Valkyrie in hand, but she didn't even need to use it in that fight, wisely holding it for the next wave of respawning defenders. But little did she know, they didn't even need it. Insomniac Boogie got handily wiped, and a single tracer wasn't enough to stall out the point.
And something I just realized is that actually Fives was playing the Pharah, and I think on defense we saw Fives playing more on the support. So I'm a bit confused what's going on right there with Team Owen, because suddenly Splatonic is on the support role, whilst Fives seems to be on the DPS role. So maybe the roles are not settled down yet for the team, and they're still trying around, or they're just super flexible.
Yeah, I mean, these are deep hero pools coming out from Omen, not just swapping around heroes, but swapping roles, as you mentioned, Sharper. But Pew 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 this time will be sticking with this Widowmaker to great effect. Already picks out Yotsuichi in the back, and now Omen have the go. It is time to dive in deep. Four Eyes brings Platonic back in, and although Wild Bill gets demeched, this hasn't stopped Omen's push at all. Fives is already on the objective, along with his Roadhog, forcing the attention of Insomniac Boogie to turn to this objective. And hashtag, oh, the Roadhog that hooks first is going to be the first to go down. And in the blink of an eye, there we have it. Omen, with the third win of tonight, takes Anubis.
And all they needed was one tick, and if you make a great opening pick with that Widowmaker from Pew Pew Pew, it's just so much easier to get a tick. And talking about Pew Pew Pew, I think this was the guy that played with the Transcendence. Goes in, takes down 1, takes down 2, make it 3, and yeah, that was just beautifully played by that guy.
Yes, indeed, Areno. Let's, This has been quite the incredible matchup. Not quite as close as we might have thought on paper. Omen with the sound 3-0 win. But we still have more maps coming your way, folks. This is a best of 5 series, and although Omen has technically taken it, this is just for the benefit of not only the casters and producers to get in some more broadcast time, but for these teams to scrim and get in their practice as well. So we'll be checking in to see if we want to finish out the last 2. Let's see. Looks like a couple of members from Omen. We will be cutting it out here. Omen has to go, but thanks so much for all of our viewers. Thanks so much for these teams scrimming and giving us the chance to cast their games. Anything you want to add, Sharper, before we end the broadcast?
No, it was a pleasure to jump in, even though it's early in the morning here in Switzerland, but was some exciting games and also exciting plays, sometimes too exciting by certain individuals, but surely love to watch it, diverse strategies and deep hero pools, as you said. So it was a pleasure to watch and cast as well. So thanks for having me.
I just want to say thanks for being here on such short notice, especially since it's early morning. We had a bit of like a caster issue. One caster didn't show up because of some miscommunications, and I'm just really glad that you managed to show up and do this. It was really good. Thank you.
I also want to give you my appreciation, Sharper. I mean, solo casting never quite as good as casting with 2, and casting with 2 nothing on casting with a great partner like you. I really enjoyed it, and let's do this again sometime.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, sure. If I'm around, I don't mind doing. I enjoy doing casting and all stuff related to Overwatch. Let's go like this.
Alrighto. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here at Broadcast.gg. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. And be sure to join us again tomorrow and all the rest of the days of the week for more Road to Open Division show night matches. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Pew 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 coming in with that Dragon Brace, secures the first kill, stashes to the next location, takes out the Mercy, make it 3 kills for him, and that should be ground control because Sephara is way stronger on high ground, so they want to avoid her as much as possible. Branson Surge coming out though now, and my goodness, what a combination!
Painful pick for Omen right off the point. Lakota manages to find Fives there, and now Tac Visor out from Yotsuichi, looking to see what he can get done. Pew Pew Pew, man, barely able to get anything for that Tac Visor. There are still members from Insomniac Boogie on this field. Indeed, Dr. Eggplant is going to be dropping the beat as well. Four Eyes in the background. Those tires have been so incredibly deadly for Omen so far this map, but Lakota has been taken out of this fight, and the Tac Visor is on the... It's going to be overtime soon for Insomniac Boogie. Omen can't leave this point now. Pew 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 has that Tac Visor, and finally he's been able to find a couple of kills.
And don't do anything because I already said now it's time to shine for Pew 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 with that Dragon Blade. 1 kill, 2 kill, maybe make it 3 of his luck. There's no roof to jump down and fall of death. The only death there is to be found is maybe Lakota's Riptire. Boom!